Welcome back to FactFrenzy, your ultimate portal for mind-blowing knowledge. Today, we've got an exhilarating treat for you. 25 random facts that will blow your mind. These facts range from the weird and wonderful to the downright unbelievable. Whether you're a trivia buff or just someone who loves to learn new things, this video is packed with fascinating tidbits that will leave you amazed. And if you haven't already, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to FactFrenzy, and hit the bell icon to stay updated with all our latest videos. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on any of our incredible content. Fact number 1. Thomas Edison didn't invent most of the stuff he patented. It's fair to say that Edison was one of the world's most notorious intellectual property thieves. Of the 1,093 things he smashed a patent on, he stole most of them off real geniuses like Nikola Tesla, Wilhelm Röntgen, and Joseph Swan, the latter of whom originally invented the light bulb. Fact number 2. Albert Einstein turned down the presidency of Israel. Einstein wasn't a citizen of Israel. However, he was Jewish. The German-born physicist was offered the post, but turned it down in 1952, saying, "I am deeply moved by the offer from our state of Israel, and at once saddened and ashamed that I cannot accept it. All my life I have dealt with objective matters. Hence, I lack both the natural aptitude and the experience to deal properly with people and to exercise official functions." Fact number 3. It turns out that most people don't procrastinate because of laziness. Instead, many factors have been found to cause this crippling condition, such as task aversion, perfectionism, fear of failure, and overall anxiety issues. Other key factors that influence how much we procrastinate come down to the goals we set for ourselves and how concrete or abstract they are. The key to combating procrastination is identifying the specific factors that cause it and combating them individually. Fact number 4. The Pentagon has twice the number of bathrooms it needs. The U.S. Department of Defense's headquarters was constructed during the time of racial segregation, and as such, an extra set of facilities were created for African American employees. In 1941, before the Pentagon's construction was complete, President Franklin D. Roosevelt prohibited racial segregation within federal organizations. Not only did the Pentagon end up with twice as many bathrooms as necessary, but twice as many cafeterias too. Fact number 5. Roman Emperor Caligula made one of his favorite horses a senator. If you didn't know anything about Caligula, then this is a pretty good way to get the impression. He was infamous for his brutality and madness. Caligula fed criminals to animals and had conversations with the moon. He loved his horse, called Incitatus, so much that he gave him a marble stall, an ivory manger, a jeweled collar, and even a house. Caligula made his horse a senator and allegedly planned to make him consul before his assassination. Fact number 6. The Leaning Tower of Pisa was never straight. Known worldwide for its 4 degrees lean, this freestanding bell tower was constructed in the 12th century. When construction on the second story started, due to the unstable ground it was built on, the tower started to lean. After this, the lean only increased as the construction process went on, and it went on to become more iconic than the tower itself. Fact number 7. The United States of America's longest-standing unbroken treaty is with Morocco. It began with the Sultan of Morocco, who officially opened the nation's ports to the U.S. in 1777. This made Morocco one of the first nations to recognize the U.S. as a country. By 1786, the Moroccan-American Treaty of Friendship was drafted and signed by the Sultan of Morocco and Thomas Jefferson. Fact number 8. As many as 80% of Hong Kong's toilets are flushed with seawater. In the 1950s, Hong Kong found the perfect solution to an overall lack of fresh water and installed a separate water distribution and wastewater management system. This system has since been installed in many coastal communities, such as the Marshall Islands. Not only does it save precious drinking water, but it's also even been found to be better for marine ecosystems. Fact number 9. Abercrombie & Fitch once offered the cast of Jersey Shore significant amounts of money to stop wearing their clothes. The American retailer feared that the association between the questionable reality TV series and their clothes would hurt their image overall. Ironically, the clothing brand's stock value dropped by 9% on the first day of trading, after the offer was sent to the cast of Jersey Shore, but this is said to have merely been a coincidence. Fact number 10. The inventor of the USB originally designed it to be plugged in either way up. One of the most frustrating things to do with technology has got to be the fact that, try as hard as you will, whenever you go to plug a USB in, it's the wrong way up. The original design would have been much better, but ended up being canned as it would have cost twice the price to make it flippable. The inventor of the USB has since agreed that they made the mistake of not going ahead with the original idea. Fact number 11. Since the end of World War I, over 1,000 people have died from leftover unexploded bombs. During the Great War, an estimated 200 pounds of explosives were fired per square foot of territory on the Western Front. However, not all of these shells exploded. Every year since the end of the war, something called an iron harvest takes place. This is the annual harvest, or unearthing of unexploded World War I bombs, as well as grenades, artillery shells, and other explosives, which occur mainly during the spring planting and autumn harvest in the fields that were once the Great War's arena. Since 1919, over 1,000 civilians and ordnance collectors have died from explosions caused by these in France and Belgium. Fact number 12. 46 BC was 445 days long and is the longest year in human history. Nicknamed the Annus Confusionis, or Year of Confusion, this year had 2 extra leap months inserted by Julius Caesar. This was in order to make his newly formed Julian calendar match up with the seasonal year. This calendar is a variation that is still used in most places across the world today. Fact number 13. Rasputin survived being poisoned and shot. Grigory Rasputin was a Russian mystic and supposed holy man. He became friends with the last Russian Tsar and Tsarina. Over time, he came to influence the Russian royals, much to the displeasure of many members of the Russian nobility. This, combined with his drunkenness and lechery, led to several Russian nobles forming a plot to assassinate the man. They invited him over to one of their houses, gave him cakes and wine laced with cyanide, all to no effect, and then shot him in the chest. To their horror, Rasputin started to cough, and they realized he was still alive. How did they fix the problem? The nobles shot Rasputin 2 more times, once in the head. Finally, they threw his body into the frozen Malaya Nevka River. Fact number 14. 3 towns in Scotland, Australia, and the US are united by how boring they are. The towns themselves probably aren't actually that boring, really, but their names sure are. Dull, Scotland, Boring, Oregon, and Bland, Australia, teamed up back in 2014 to get a much-needed tourism boost by creating the tongue-in-cheek League of Extraordinary Communities. It wasn't long before the 3 towns' union gained a new nickname, the Trinity of Tedium. Fact number 15. A town in Antarctica forces would be residents to have their appendices removed. Villas Las Estrellas lies on King George Island, one of Antarctica's South Shetland Islands. The island itself has a rotating population of around 100 or so people, primarily made up of researchers and various military personnel. Because the island is so remote and the medical facilities there so small, anyone who wishes to live there must get their appendix taken out, to ensure it doesn't become a problem down the line. Fact number 16. People were buried alive so often that bells were attached to their coffins. Due to medicine not being so great, comatose people were sometimes mistakenly buried alive. In order to counteract these potential blunders, people were buried with little bells above ground. These bells were attached to a string, which went into the coffin. If the person were buried alive and later woke up, they would tug on the string that would ring the bell above ground. Someone would hear it and then dig the person out of their premature resting place. Fact number 17. The term "saved by the bell" does not originate from people being buried alive. Because of bells attached to coffins back in the day, people wrongly assume that the term "saved by the bell" comes from people being saved by these coffin bells. However, the term actually comes from boxing. It comes from being saved from a knockout or countdown by the ring of a bell, which signals the end of the current round. Fact number 18. The person who proved the existence of radio waves thought they were completely pointless. Between 1886 and 1889, Heinrich Hertz did a series of intricate tests that proved the existence of a previously theoretical form of wave, electromagnetic waves. When asked about the practical uses, he responded, "It's of no use whatsoever. This is just an experiment that proves Maestro Maxwell was right. We just have these mysterious electromagnetic waves that we cannot see with the naked eye." But they are there. Hertz's name is now used to indicate the various degrees of electromagnetic frequency, despite calling them pointless. Fact number 19. Michael Jackson once had an entire supermarket closed so he could shop like a normal person. Being famous from a very young age, Michael Jackson was never able to do many completely normal and rather tediously boring day-to-day activities. When he mentioned that it was his dream to go shopping and put things in a basket, One of his friends shut down his store for a day and filled it with Jackson's friends and family posing as employees. The superstar donned a single latex glove and went about his business up and down the supermarket's aisles, later likening it to a trip to Disneyland. Fact number 20. Spartans were so rich that nobody had to work. Ancient Sparta, during its classical age, was an immensely wealthy country. A large part of this was down to their use of helos, the enslaved population of the territories ruled by Sparta. When a Spartan boy reached adulthood and became a man, the Spartan state awarded him with an allotment of public farmland. They also rewarded him with a constituent of helos slaves to work it. This basically turned every Spartan citizen into a wealthy member of the conventional upper class, so they didn't have to work for a living. Still, private property existed, which is important because, fact number 21, Spartan women owned most of the land and wealth in Sparta. Spartan inheritance law was crazy progressive compared to the rest of ancient Greek inheritance law. When a Spartan man died, his public state-given farmland went back to the state. However, his private land would go to his wife. A lot of husbands died young in Sparta due to their militaristic culture, and when they did, their widows would often grow their inheritance over the course of their life before their own deaths. Upon their deaths, their land would pass equally to both their male and female children. So, a young woman who married a wealthy man would most likely inherit his fortune young, then inherit their mother's fortune and grow their own, becoming super ultra rich. They would then pass that on to their children and on, creating a crazy snowball inheritance effect. Fact number 22. Charles Dickens's novels were so popular in his day that poor people who couldn't read would collectively pay someone to read his stories out loud. Charles Dickens was undoubtedly one of the world's greatest novelists, at least in the Victorian era. While his works filled the shelves of aristocrats' libraries worldwide, one of his greatest feats was his ability to reach out and inspire all classes of society. Masses of impoverished and illiterate fans would each pay a halfpenny to have each of his monthly updates read out to them. Fact number 23. Research has found that people who swear tend to be more honest. While society rejects those who utilize profanity on a general level, many people still swear worse than sailors if given the opportunity. A researcher from Stanford University was inquisitive about the connection between swearing and expressing one's true feelings. Eventually, he concluded that there was a direct link between those who swear to their heart's content and those who are generally more honest. Fact number 24. The quietest place on Earth is in Minnesota. Pretty much wherever you go in the world, there's always going to be some sort of background noise. Whether that's the chirp of crickets or the slow, lazy whoosh of a gentle breeze. That's the case everywhere except Orfield Laboratories in Minneapolis, Minnesota, where something called an anechoic chamber lies. While the background noise in a tranquil bedroom measures somewhere around 30 decibels, Orfield Laboratories' anechoic chamber recorded an average of 13 decibels. That's so quiet that the inner workings of your body are clearly audible. Fact number 25. For 12 years during the French Revolutionary period, France had a whole new calendar. Not just that, but they also had a whole new timekeeping system too. Between 1793 and 1805, the ruling French government used the French Republican calendar to remove all religious and royalist ties to the old calendar. It was also part of a wider effort to decimalize France in terms of time, currency, and metrication. Wow, wasn't that just mind-blowing? We hope you enjoyed discovering these 25 random facts that will blow your mind. If you loved this video, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps us out and lets us know you want more awesome content. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to FactFrenzy and ring that bell icon so you never miss an update. We've got tons of incredible videos lined up just for you. Leave a comment below and let us know which fact surprised you the most. We love hearing from our amazing FactFrenzy family. Thanks for watching, stay curious, and we'll see you in the next video. Keep your mind open and your heart full of wonder. Until next time, stay awesome!